Hey, back again. This is probably the last one I'll do for the day. Uh, there were a few things that I wanted to cover that for anybody that happens to see these videos can can gain, if you will, a different frame of reference, or if you've experienced things that are similar to the way I experience who I am, being in one of these analog avatars, right? Um, because one of the things that happens with me, and I'll just explain to you how it works with me, how it works for you and anybody else who sees or hears or experiences what I'm sharing with you, that's up to you how you choose to translate it and interpret it, okay? Because you live your life, I live mine, and I'm aware of everything I'm aware of and how what I'm aware of relates to who I am, and then I translate it, and I realize that the value or no value that it has. And if it doesn't, return to sender. If it doesn't, delete it, or I'll hold on to it for a period of time because my intuition tells me that this information is relevant, particularly during this, what I call event horizon, okay? So when you write your own timeline or you experience any timeline, you realize that each event, what I call a now time moment, okay, is there for a reason. It has a function, okay? Particularly when you go into your DNA and you realize you have time clocks built in. Okay, we're back to function, aren't we? What is the function of a time clock? Well, I know because of the rate of speed at which I experience who I am in waveform communication, I don't run on a time clock, okay? Because things just move way too fast, okay? And it's the beauty in the cosmos to know these things and experience these things and know these things. That's gnosis. That's self-knowledge, okay? That's why when I was a child, and as Patty describes it, information unpacks. Notice how my fingers is going like this. It's just, without even thinking about it, you know there's always spin. A spin cycle, like a spin cycle in a dryer, a spin cycle in a washing machine, a spin cycle in a toilet, the spin of the galaxy, the spin of a top, the spin of a tornado, the spin of the vortex in your heart, okay? They did not want children to spin, okay, a hot light bulb, okay? It's painful. It is when you're aware of so much information because the data, the speed of that data, it's just enormous. I remember when I was a child growing up, my dad, and bless his heart, I wish you could meet my father. He was just one of the most incredible men. He was the most honorable person I've ever known in my life. And by the way, leave the definition of a person out. I realize how they use all that as a control methodology, social programming, all the rest of that, all the stuff I covered before. But I was introduced to building shortwave radios, ham radios, what a crystal is. What is a crystal? Go find a quartz crystal rock, right? What does it hold? Information. Frequencies. Frequencies of information. Data. So the data is held in the crystal, yeah. And the old radios that we used to use, well, actually when I was younger building shortwave radios, but like, for example, when I went to work in fire protection, the older radios, which were Motorola's as I remembered at the time, run on crystals. They just change the crystals out, which is changing the data out, which is changing the frequencies out. So you begin to sort of put this together when you have a scanner, okay? Just like the radio in your car. It's got a dial. Notice that it spins in a direction. It rotates. Turn it the other way, turn it to the right, turn it clockwise, right? Okay, so you begin to realize, hey, we're going the frequencies this way, hey, we're going the frequencies this way. That's a spectrum. That's called bandwidth. Bandwidth. So you have frequencies that operate, all the different frequencies that operate on bands. Okay? Frequency bands. So that's why, for example, in fire protection, they finally started coming out. Actually, 1970 was the worst fire season that the state of California had ever had. Okay, so why is that story relevant? Because believe it or not, there is an underlying math and physics behind what this story has to say that is unfolding here on this video with everybody. okay? And that is that I began to realize, because I love to hang around guys that work in electronics and communications and crystals and radios and all that, because everything snaps in place, right, when you're in here. Because everything is a now-time moment from which you're learning, or you already know, but you are a part of the experience that is self-reinforcing what you already know. Okay? But you realize, what value does that information has? It has future proves past value to the timeline that we're experiencing, that has relevant as information that is important for everybody else to know in a morphogenetic field structure. So we sort of snap in place, crystal clear. We are experiencing and we are communicating at a speed at which everything is immediate. Immediate. Wow. All the neurotransmitters in our heart are communicating with each other immediately. Yeah. Now we're all manifesting together. Yeah. So scale that up to the entire cosmos. Okay? So anytime that a first responder in the cosmos is aware of losing a part of what we are, which is a light worker, a light warrior, a first responder, an energy medic, I'm losing a part of who I am. Where is it happening? It's happening in planet Earth. My God, a goddess is losing part of her shield. No, no, no. What happened to her classroom? We got to go. Put our turnouts on. We're off. We're there. Flash. We got to restore the light in here. Yeah, we do. Because it's painful, particularly with the goddess. I realize with me, I don't ever want to be if I'm not always with the goddess, to experience the essence and the power of her spirit. So when they talked about a protest against stupidity, I thought, well, let's celebrate the energy of the girl on the planet then. Can we all do that? I do my level best to do that every day. I do my level best because I tell her all the time how much I love her, and thank you very much, and thank you very much. She lives through my heart every single second of every single day that I'm here with her. You know? So I thought about, for example, when I was a firefighter learning about communication, those crystals, which represent data, is no different than the data in a big crystal. How about a bigger crystal? So that data can represent memory. All it is data. So when they start pushing data, which they call in memory, through the backside that Patty said she was going to do, all of a sudden I become aware of what? More data. So then I value tag it. Does all this new data that I'm now aware of have relevance? Well, the way that we know whether it has relevance or not is whether that information or that data is going to have relevance when? At a very specific time sequence in which you already know in future, past, present, is going to have relevance at the time that you use it and you communicate it. So in other words, you're communicating data that you're already aware of, but you're communicating at a very specific time, which is called an event. A now time event. Each event is linked to another event, to another event, to another event, to another event. And it spins. So the event timeline that we're all on is timeline 0, which means that the energy is going to go up. The speed is going to go up. The light is expanding. The consciousness is expanding. We are aware of more data. It is spinning through the vortex of our heart to raise our state of consciousness in which, wow, all of the other data that was being held in memory to run the program that was given to us as a function is going bye-bye. The memory that is in the clock is designed as a function. So then when you can begin to understand, well, what is the function? Why are we here? What is our purpose? Right? So when you realize that you have the freedom to be the author of your own story, just like I am the author of my own story, I certainly don't have to be doing this, do I? How about you? You don't have to be watching this video. You can be off doing whatever you want. So when you are free to experience who you are, write your own story as you're experiencing it, right? You can start writing it down. This is everything that I'm experiencing. And that becomes a record. But it's already a record because it's already being recorded. So you're recording your record while you're here. And it goes in the Akashic record. And that's your timesheet. Okay? That's why the DNA has a time clock. So that you can record your experiences here of what you learned here. Which is why it's a classroom. And she is the one that is providing all the energy here for us to experience who she is as the teacher. So the simplest way that I show a child who the teacher is in the planet, and you can do this a million ways from Sunday, go take a child out to a living magma field, right? The simplest way I know it, growing up in Southern California, was an orange tree. Look at the oranges she's given us. How about an apple tree? Okay? Go anywhere on the planet. Go exploring through some caves. Go hike a mountain. Anywhere you're in a boreal forest. Okay? When you're out in nature, okay, and she is naturally providing for everything that we need on this planet, then you realize when you're in waveform harmony with her, then you're experiencing waveform harmony within yourself. Now we're in alignment with her. You're realizing what she's teaching us, and we're a reflection of who she is in waveform alignment with her, then that means we are in alignment with our teacher. Okay? Because she's a powerful spirit. That's why she's here. She's providing free classroom. She's not charging you for an education. Are you kidding me? So that's why when I was a child growing up, I want to be with her all the time. Okay? Because she's not only a beautiful spirit, but your imagination really kicks off when you realize, particularly when you go places like Yosemite National Park, Half Dome, how all this stuff gets carved out. Unbelievable. Imagine your own imagination can do things like that, paint pictures like that, manifest things like that. You begin to realize the power of creation, the manifestation of what you can use with your energy to manifest things and experience what it is you just did. That's powerful magic. That's why love is the most powerful energy in motion. So I thought, if these things sort of snap in place because I'm putting them into the morphogenetic field structure, then the speed at which they're being experienced to crystallize a clear channel of communication that is immediate. Then we're saying bye-bye to the programmers who are trying to control what it is we experience in memory. Memory of events that we experience that do not serve us because we're losing our light through that experience without realizing it because our state of awareness is not aware of it. So that's why the light is dismantling what it is that they had in place that was trying to control what we experience. That's a clear channel violation of love is the law. That's the purpose and meaning and the function of peacekeepers, healers, and teachers here. That's what we do. That's our responsibility. Okay? That's our function. Okay? So this isn't about us. This is about all of us. In very large terms of things, or what I call scale, this is the evolution of the sum of its parts, which is the sum of the parts of the entire cosmos that is aware of what's happening at any one given now time moment. So any time that the cosmos is aware of losing its light, it has to be restored. Otherwise, we realize we're losing a part of something we're giving love to, which means we're losing a part of who we are. So we got to restore it. So we're restoring the light, and we're restoring it at a very accelerated rate of speed. And that's the good news. So anyway, I hope you are all enjoying and experiencing the acceleration of the changes so that we're dissolving all the things that were holding us captive to lower frequency consciousness density, so that we're all experiencing higher frequencies in which we're in a state of love and joy. We can live in peace, harmony, and balance with everything there is, because everything there is that is in my vortex is what love is. It's normal not to experience anything less than what that is. So we're here because we are experiencing something less than what love is. So it's got to get restored, huh? That's what we're doing. We're restoring the light, which is restoring sanity. That's who we are in living spirit. Bye now.